There's an old Japanese parable about a troubled warrior who is haunted by the ghosts of the lives he took in battle.
Are you the great silk sage? I must know if heaven and hell exist. So many have been slaughtered. For them, I hope there is a heaven. But I have killed so many. Now for me, I pray there is no hell. Please. I must know.
I would have wanted to waste such wisdom on a heartless coward like you.
What did you say, old woman?
What did you intend to do with that? Prove that you're a coward by killing a defenseless woman? I've never seen such weakness in a warrior. That is hell. Is heaven.
My name is Maya Angelou, and I believe that the heart is the most forceful, impactful element in our lives.
You will never, ever reach your full potential if you don't open your heart.
And the power of the heart is to be connected with who you are at the deepest level.
We think of the heart in the poetic sense, the seat of love and compassion. And it's this heart that is so terribly important.
I'm a writer. For me, inspiration is essential. Creativity is essential. And I can only find it through the heart.
The higher order of logic and understanding originates in your heart. It's experienced in your heart. It's lived in your heart.
The physical heart pumps blood through the veins and arteries from the time we're born until the time we die. The most efficient pump ever invented. But the heart is more than that.
We did an experiment here at HeartMath to study how the information flows between the heart and the brain. And we actually discovered something quite remarkable, something that surprised us. participants in the study were connected to various sensors to measure their brain waves, their heartbeats, and so on. And then they were exposed to various images. Some were high arousal, like a car crash or a snake striking, while others were low arousal images, like bunny rabbits in nature scenes. The participants were asked to push a button. They then saw a blank computer screen for 6 seconds. The computer then randomly selected one of these photographs that it displayed for 3 seconds. After that, the screen went blank for 10 seconds. And they were prompted to push the button again, and they repeated this protocol about 30 times. When we analyzed all the data, the results were astounding. The heart seemed to know the images before the participants ever saw the images with their eyes. If the future picture was going to be one of the emotionally arousing ones, the heart rate started to drop about 5 seconds before the image was randomly selected to be shown on the screen. So nobody could know what this future picture was going to be. The heart had a much greater deacceleration than if it was going to be a calm picture. These results have since been replicated in many different independent labs around the world, actually. Well, a lot of people say that I don't feel it in my heart, I feel it in my gut. But here's what's really happening. The information comes to the heart first. The heart then sends a different signal to the brain, which we can measure. Then you have a brain response, and then a body response. And with the body response, like the feeling in the gut or the hair on the back of the neck, is where it becomes conscious. But the real flow of information is heart, brain, body. And this is all happening many seconds before the actual event occurs. So what this body of research is telling us is that the heart seems to be connected to a type of intuition that is not bound by the limits of time and space. But what is that source of intuition? What is the heart connected to? And how can we learn to tap into more of that?
I believe that a person who is disconnected from his or her heart is not living. I know a lot of people who are dead, but they walk, they talk, they watch television, they work hard sometimes.
We're the only living form on Earth that can actually become the walking dead. We can actually cut off our own source to aliveness.
But somehow this spark of divine energy is lost. This happened to me. I said, oh, I want to be a writer. My parents said, oh, come on, Paulo, in Brazil, to be a writer in Brazil, nobody can make a living out of writing. I said, but I don't care, I just want to be happy. I just want to do something that it's going to give me fun. It's going to give a meaning to my life. And they said, no, 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 no. And then, of course, because I thought that old people are wiser, I said, okay, they have reason, let me do something different. But I could not. I quit the university. I was doing law. And I said, you have to burn your bridges. And I did burn my bridges. And I had no choice but to follow the thing that I wanted to do. So from the moment that I realized that I want to be a writer, I said, I'm going to be a writer. It may take 10 days, 10 years, or 20 years, but I'm going to write. And then I started by writing lyrics for songs. I started by writing articles for newspapers. I wrote my first book when I was 40, but at least I wrote my first book. So at the end, if you don't fulfill your dream, God finds 3 or 4 times a way to kick your head and say, come on, don't forget your purpose in life. Give a chance to your dream. You are not going to regret. I'm not saying that you're not going to suffer. Huh? I'm not saying that you're not going to be defeated. I'm saying you're not going to regret.
The medieval female mystic Mechthild beautifully said that a fish cannot drown in water and a bird cannot fall from the sky. Each creature must find their own God-given element. And it's easy for fish and birds. They know their element, but for human beings, it's not so easy. With well-intention, we always struggle whether to follow our heart and our direct experience and the advice and instruction of others, whether they be parents, loved ones, friends, trends in whatever age we're born into. And there's no substitute for following the aliveness that our heart tunes us to.
Many times people are looking for their ideal partner and they say they can't find them. They're looking and they're looking and they're looking and they can't find them. Well, if your soulmate is not knocking on your door, it's not that you're not looking hard enough. If you want to find someone that can fully love you and know you, you have to know and love yourself. When we're able to give ourselves this kind of love, which says we're good enough just the way we are, that we're in this world for a reason, that we're never alone, that sense of fulfillment provides a foundation for having a successful relationship with someone else.
A great teacher of this is a simple flower. When the flower blossoms, the bee comes. The flower doesn't go looking for the bee. And this is where the heart really comes alive, because relationships are far more challenging than what we see in the movies.
All right, roll up. I've loved you all my life.
But we only met 2 days ago.
That's when my life began.
The journey of a relationship is finding love every time, again and again and again. And to find love again and again means you're going to lose it and lose it and lose it.
You know, often the question arises that if the heart is so powerful, why is it so easily broken? And my time on earth has led me to understand because that's how the heart grows. In the same way that when we exercise, our muscles actually break down so that they can get healthy and grow stronger, this is how the heart works.
You have to bring forth obstacles, and that's what a marriage is. You will be challenged.
One day, a blonde walked into Charles' life.
Was she really pretty?
Well, I'd lie about it, but Marion saw her too. Yes, she's very pretty.
There'll be times when you doubt your partner, you doubt your relationship, and you're angry with your partner.
There isn't the slightest bit of good in you.
You're afraid to get close to your partner. You've been hurt by your partner.
He's hiding something from me, Sylvie. Something terrible.
This is part of that journey.
You know, in the moment of such breaking, it's agony, and we feel desperate. But the heart just says, give me more, give me more.
As you come back to love, each time coming back to love, finding forgiveness, finding acceptance, even thanking your partner at times for their inadequacies, so to speak, because it pulled forth greater love within yourself. That is how you grow.
Oh, there was a battle, all right. But it wasn't Paul I had to fight with. It was myself.
Bonnie will say to me, John, I don't want to listen to you until you're talking to me from your heart. And I said, no, I'm talking, I'm making sense. No, I want to hear your feeling. I want to hear your love and the tone of your voice. And when you can find it, we can talk again. What a simple message she gives me. Now, it would be a mistake for her to say something's wrong with being in my head, because that would make a very important part of me wrong. But what she'll say is at times when my heart is closed, when I sound mean or focused on being right.
Now, if you want to tell me what's troubling you, fine. If not, I'm tired, it's late, and I want to go home to bed.
She'll say, right now, I can't hear this. I need to hear a little bit more of your heart. When you're ready to talk from your heart, I'm ready to talk with you.
I think the challenge in our age is staying in relationship, and that doesn't mean to stay in abusive relationships or relationships that don't work. And I have found for me that the difference often as to whether to stay or go in a friendship or a love relationship hinges on whether all of who I am is welcome. If I am asked to leave who I am or part of who I am outside, then no matter what we do in that relationship, I won't grow because I won't be able to stay connected to my heart.
And this is where their story really begins. It wouldn't be fair to tell you how it ends, for that, we hope, is something you'll want to experience for yourself.
Things can get crazy, no? So many people, they lose their kids because there is no relationship, there is no contact, which is very bad, because no time to try again and to try again, to find a solution. I have 4 kids, one of them is playing for Ajax, you know. Probably I paid more attention to that, and the oldest one got a little bit less attention, I don't know, and he was against me in a way. And I decided I have to do something. I have to give him an opportunity to get closer. Then all of a sudden I told him, come on, we take the bikes and we go to Greece, you know? I said, in order to persuade him, it might be my last time.
Why do you say that?
When we go up on the Alps, I will tell you. I had nothing to tell him. I just told him because otherwise he wouldn't come. And I knew that he wouldn't come, you know. We went from Amsterdam to Athens, Greece. You become his brother, you become his mate, you become his friend. This is what happened up in the Alps when it was -16 and we're freezing cold, so we became one.
Hey, where are you, man? Dad, where are you? This is a little house here, come!
Hello? Hello? Hey, look at this. Please, please, let us sleep with you tonight. If you allow me to sleep here tonight, me and Willem, you know, just for a night, it's so cold. I love you.
And then everything went away, all this friction, because I was, you know, in the same team with him. And I love that, and I'm very happy that this little mistake of mine, which was not dedicating enough time to my oldest son.
I don't know nothing about books, so be careful with your dad, eh?
Now that we are really, really good friends. So every father has got a friction with his son, and love it. You've got kids, no? I hope you will enjoy when the friction is coming. Otherwise, he hasn't got any character.
You okay? Yeah, man.
So when your son is against you, be very happy, okay?
On Sunday, September 22nd, at about 10:54 in the evening, our daughter was riding her bicycle home from the CSU Chico State Library when she was struck by a drunk driver and left on the side of the road to die.
In the phone conversation with the nurse, we knew that she had been in an accident, but we didn't know any of the details, that it was a drunk driver and that it was a 19-year-old kid. She was riding 4 blocks home from school. She was about a half a block from her apartment.
You could see her apartment from where she was hit.
You could actually stand on the bridge and see her apartment from there.
She was so close.
That's how close it was, and I've stood there so many times and just looked at that distance. Just, you know, thought about that short distance has changed our lives.
Christina was one of those extraordinary people that you don't come across very often.
She studied. She really thought about how to live her life. She didn't just stumble through life the way many people do, especially at her age. From the time she weighed enough to give blood, she gave it. And sometimes she would even pass out, and Sandra would drive her home in the car. She'd say, "That's it, you're not gonna do this again." And she'd say, "No, I am gonna do this again." And she would. She would give blood whenever she had the chance. And
Pass out every time.
And she'd pass out almost every time. That's the way she lived her life. If she thought it was the right thing to do, she did it. And so many people know the right thing to do, but they don't always do it. But she didn't even have to think about it.
About 3 weeks after Christina died, we had to go and pack up her apartment up in Chico. And I opened up a drawer and I saw a makeup bag. I opened up the makeup bag and it had several pieces of paper in it. No makeup, but several pieces of paper. And among those papers was this piece of paper that was folded and a little tattered. And I looked at it and I started to read. And I realized it was a bucket list. She never said, I want to be rich. I want to be famous. She didn't ask for anything unreasonable. She just wanted to do normal stuff. And she'll never get to do that. Be in 4 places at once. There's a place called 4 Corners. You can actually go to the edge of all 4 states, and that's what she wanted to do. But she's done this already. Not by being there, but with her organs. Parts of her are 4 places at once. Her liver was split between 2 people. One was a 55-year-old man, and one was a 9-month-old baby. A kidney, somebody that the family knew. Another man got the rest of Christina's liver. Her pancreas and the other kidney went to a man in the South Bay. And her heart went to a 64-year-old woman from the South Bay at Stanford.
Lao Tzu said that I have just 3 things to teach: simplicity, patience, and compassion. In an age where we run from the depth of feeling and the teachings of the heart, our fear can reframe simplicity as stupidity, patience as laziness, and compassion as sentimentality, and therefore make them not worthwhile to pick up. Simplicity refers to direct living, first-hand experience. So the return to touching life directly. This restores our wholeheartedness. Patience also restores us to wholeheartedness. The urgencies we feel, ever present, are mostly false. Unless you or I can't breathe or we're bleeding, there's no real urgency. And compassion literally means to be with, to keep honest company. So when I am not directly living, when I am not patient, I want to problem solve your pain and not keep you company with it. I'm often asked, well, that's fine, but how can we do that in the real world? And I see it differently. I've come to understand that if you don't open your heart, then existence will crush you. Not because there's something evil about existence, but because the way water fills a hole, if you don't meet the world with who you are, then everything around will just fill you in. So there's always a question, yes, if I'm out in the world, I could get hurt, I could get taken advantage of, I could get betrayed, my trust may not be rewarded. This is all true. But I have found that the cost for not staying open-hearted, wholehearted, is that I lose access to my aliveness.
And we'll end up walking lockstep in a society of consumerism, of getting, of fear, and of worry. And we will not have lived our life. We have a life to live. The heart has the answers.
I was editor of a magazine. I started that 1 year ago. And I was looking at this magazine, and as usual, there is this picture of the editor in front of the magazine. And I was looking at myself, smiling. And I thought, it's not true. This is not me. But there was this sadness. It was like a wave of sadness that washed me. It was really a sad moment. I can laugh at it now. And I thought, who is this me or I or self? What is it? In religion or in the spiritual traditions or in philosophy, what is it?
Every spiritual tradition throughout history has spoken about the heart as being the seat of the soul. The diamond in the heart, the lotus in the heart, the temple in the heart. Every tradition speaks about the heart as being the essence of who we are.
The heart points to the most essential dimension within you. So to live in connectedness with that, then you are in touch with the power of the heart, which is the power of life itself, the power of the very intelligence that pervades and underlies the entire universe.
Divine intelligence is in your heart. You will not find your soul in your intellect.
And I suddenly thought, wow, look at all these notes. This could be a magazine. And the title was easy because it made me really happy. Happiness. So to listen to your heart can be very frightening. Because you might have to lose all the secure things that life was giving you, like cars, money, houses, everything.
Well, I am a person who has a lot of fears. Like, for example, every time that I have to write a new book, would I be able to express myself? Would I be able to share my soul?
When we consider challenging a fear, we're actually considering shining the light of awareness on those places within us that are fearful.
There's nothing wrong with fear. The only thing that it is wrong is to be paralyzed by fear.
So I thought, okay, I face it. I just face it, this fear. What will happen to me if this magazine is not a success? I'll maybe have to sell the house. So I looked to another house. An area in the village where you can rent a very cheap house. I thought, can I live there? Of course, I can live there. Why not? It's a roof, it's a house. I can live there. And I knew I can handle this. Whatever will happen, we will live.
And there's an old soothsaying that says the longest journey you will make in your life is from your head to your heart. And this isn't because we're stupid or we're slow. It's because it takes time. Before I had cancer, I believed in the heart, but I was living it from my head. And that journey, like snow melting into the ground, the essence of my life melted into my heart. It took almost dying to make that journey from my head to my heart.
Your primary intention needs to be connectedness with the heart at this moment.
I have to act from a place of good intention, a place of love and kindness that will allow me to walk in this world without creating any damage.
You may intend to have $1 million, and that intention will lead you to rob a bank. If you really want the thing, go to the heart and say, this is what I want. And the heart can say, I'll show you how you get it. You must be willing to work now and trust me now. And then you can have it, yes. If it's not going to hurt anyone else.
Suppose you meet someone who says, I intend to make more money. And he says, that's my intention. You can ask him, why do you want to make more money? And then you'll start to learn some interesting things.
If making money becomes your primary goal, then know that you're not connected with the deepest dimension in yourself that we call the heart. And even if you achieve your goal and make a lot of money, you will find that ultimately it leads to frustration and unhappiness.
Fulfilling your dream. And second, money may come. And if money does not come, you still have a life full of joy. In my case, for example, I never thought I would make a living out of writing. I was writing because I wanted to do it. I had no choice. So at the end of the day, not only I made money out of writing, but I made a lot of money out of writing.
It often happens that when your actions become empowered and contribute something vital to this world, then abundance in some form, and it may be in the form of money, can sometimes flow to you.
It was a great success. Holland wanted this magazine so it could grow, and it was the biggest magazine of the Netherlands. It came from the heart. It was a real thing.
Wherever your heart is, there you'll find your treasure.
The heart is who you are. The heart defines you. And I really wanted to meet that person because I knew that person had to be pretty special to get Christina's heart. Late one evening, my son got a text message from a friend and said, "Tell your mom to read the Facebook page." So I went to Facebook and I saw a message, and the message was, "I am Susan Vieira, and I believe I'm the recipient of your daughter's heart." I knew it was late, but I just figured I'd message her anyway. And she responded right back. And I dialed her number, and she picked up. And right away, I just felt a connection. I felt Christina. And then when I heard that she was a retired nurse and that they had so much in common, that it was like Christina handpicked Susan to get her heart.
Christina and I were both nurses. I saw the bucket list, and it's really a CV of my life.
She wanted to manage her own business.
Yes, I did that.
She wanted to get married.
Yes, I've done that.
She wanted to learn how to fly a plane.
I've learned to fly a plane.
She wanted to go to 4 out of 7 of the wonders of the world.
Yes, check.
Fly first class on an airplane.
Check.
Visit the 50 states.
I'm working on it.
Ride in a hot air balloon.
I've done that.
Go parachuting.
I'm gonna have to wait a while on that one.
Ride a camel.
Done that.
Travel to all the continents.
Working on it.
Be remembered as the smiley girl.
I'm still working on that one too.
She wanted to save someone's life, which she did that in death. She wanted to own 2 pieces of property, one with livestock.
I hesitated on that one. I've owned 2 pieces of property, but they didn't have livestock on them.
She wanted to break up a fight between 2 guys over her.
No, I haven't done that one.
She wanted to run through a poppy field.
I haven't done that either.
Tour Niagara Falls.
I'd love to go to Niagara Falls.
And have children.
I don't think so. At this point, that's one I'm not going to accomplish on her bucket list.
Go to the Smithsonian and drive along Route 66.
Drove it all the way from California to Tennessee.
And it was so important to her that these get done that we knew it was something that we wanted to do.
I also made the goal to try and do as many of the undone items on the bucket list.
Having a heart transplant, there's things, that she can't do. She can't go skydiving or parachuting. So we'll do that for her. It won't be me because I'm too scared, but it'll get done. Everything on that list that we can do, we'll do.
When you're defeated, you cannot pretend that you are spiritually superior. Huh? Sit down and cry and suffer and say, "Oh my God, why did you forsake me?" You are allowed to cry. You are allowed to be defeated.
How not to deny my pain, because if we deny it, it'll get bigger, and how not to drown in it. We are asked to let in beauty while we're suffering.
I remember when she was little and I would lay my head on her chest and I would hear her heart. That's how I felt today. I thought that's the heart I heard so many times.
Good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I went through the experience of losing my daughter because there was malpractice and negligence in a hospital. And my daughter became a vegetable, really, in a coma for a year until she finally was liberated and died. And I could carry for the rest of my life the burden of the anger and the resentment of what happened. I could blame and sue the hospital, but I chose to write a book instead. And in that book, I sort of cleansed the whole thing. I understood what had happened. I realized that there was no bad intention. There was ignorance, negligence, but not the purpose of harming her. And I forgave. And I have been able to live for 19 years with the spirit of my daughter happily. I don't carry that burden with me.
Whenever I'm having a difficult time forgiving, I think of Immaculée Ilibagiza.
I was home for Easter holiday. My brother came to my room.
You still sleeping?
He looked like he was awake for many hours.
You don't know what happened?
I jumped out of the bed. I never did this before in front of my brother. Put on my clothes. He said,
"The president of our country died last night."
They're gonna kill us.
I come from a tribe of Tutsi who was not well loved, and we kind of suspected something might happen. My parents sent me to hide to a neighbor who was from the Hutu tribe. He was a Protestant pastor, and he put me to sit in a bathroom of 3 by 4 feet with other 7 women. We couldn't talk. We couldn't speak as the man told us.
I won't even tell my children. One mistake. It's not that I don't trust my children, but one least mistake, it will be too late for you, and your life will be over. Don't use the shower.
Only flush the water of the bathroom when somebody else is flushing the water in the next bathroom.
Okay? I think they will be killing for a week or maybe less. But if we are careful, we might live through this. Please be careful.
We thought it was going to be 2-3 days. We spent in that bathroom 3 months.
You must not let your guard down. The Tutsi snakes are hiding in the grass, so make sure that you have your machete ready to chop the snakes in half.
We couldn't shower. We were waiting for killers to find us every day.
Government will bring you one. If you're working your field and spot a Tutsi woman in bushes breastfeeding her baby, don't waste a golden opportunity. Pick up your gun, shoot her, to chop the snakes in half. Don't forget to kill the baby. The child of a snake is a snake.
They went home by home to search, to see if anyone was hiding. And this was a group that was paid by the government, given food, drinks, smokes. The first time they came, I remember, I was stretching and I saw them through the tiny window of the bathroom. They made a circle of the house so that no one jumps out of the window, and then they started to scream. They went in every room. They went under the beds. They even opened suitcases to make sure there was no babies hiding. They went in the ceiling of the house with flashlights to make sure no one is hiding in the ceiling. They went on the roof of the house to make sure no one is laying there. I remember asking, if you are there, who can control all this, please don't let them find the door of the bathroom. 1,000 needles are going through your body. It was painful. It wasn't a little fear, it was a lot. Your life is about to be over. You are about to be cut by machetes.
There are the Tutsis. No, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a good Hutu. I will never hide Tutsis. There are no Tutsis here. I don't want any problem with the government.
You people, you know me. I should protect this house. First, those Tutsi rebels come and attack me for being such a good Hutu.
They came right to the door of the bathroom. One of them touched the handle. He told the man,
"You know what? I trust you. You are a good man." Oh, thank you. You are one of us now.
I mean, when we saw him, we jumped. We thought it was the killers finding us.
You're safe now. You're lucky to be alive.
We were completely numb for the past 5 hours.
And I don't know how you're praying or if you're even praying, but whatever you're doing, please keep doing it.
You know, the feelings I had in that bathroom were things I never experienced in my life. I had anger. Anger I cannot put in words. I mean, sometimes people hate one person, and that's bad enough. I hated like 8 million people. I remember thinking, when I go out, I'm going to be a soldier, and I will train my body and muscles and just kill everybody. In my anger, I was Rambo. In some movies I have seen, I was killing people. With these thoughts, I would be sweating out of anger, and I'm still sitting in the bathroom. With these thoughts, my head will be aching, and my stomach is aching. Why my thoughts are provoking this poison? I'm only thinking of things I want to do. What is going on with my thoughts here?
It's very hard to remember love when we are scared. Being afraid is one of the strongest emotions in the world.
Our heart rate varies with each and every heartbeat. And when we're frustrated and anxious and emotionally upset, the rhythm of the heart becomes very incoherent and jagged. And this basically creates a noise in the system that drowns out the intuitive signals.
I remember thinking, this home has 2 bathrooms. If they didn't have these 2 bathrooms, how could we have been hidden here? They would have found us. It was only home that had 2 bathrooms inside the house. And that made me feel good. When I was thinking the good, and it was so distinctive because the feelings were so high, you can feel the difference, like somebody just like pushed you down or lifted you up, like it's so clearly. And I started thinking, you know, we can eat. Thank God this man has children. We can eat the leftovers, even if it was not much. So I started to see the good, and it was like my heart was open. Look at these people, I can touch somebody. You know, like just to see the good in everything.
Appreciation is a heart-related feeling. It requires access to the intelligence of the heart to appreciate or to have gratitude.
And when I was thinking that way, I felt much smarter.
When we're in a coherent state, the signal from the heart to the brain is much stronger. It gets up to our frontal cortex much clearer.
That's the heart knocking on your door saying, open the door, here I am, you need me. Because then you say, oh, look where I am, I'm in hell. I didn't know that. But the heart tells you, trust me. I'll bring you out of that.
It begins to shift the energies very, very quickly so that you come into another level of buoyancy that rises above the problem. And in doing so, you can then see into it. You can then find ways to deal with it.
They're coming back.
It was so clear in my heart. This time, they're going to find you.
Pastor, push the wardrobe in front of the door so they're not going to see there is a door.
No. Why? If they come, they realize it wasn't here.
I'm begging you.
Okay, I'll put it.
And it was so clear that I need to listen to that. They came to search.
Pastor. This is the last place she was seen. You know she's here. Imagine!
One of them said, I have killed 399 cockroaches. And he said, I want Immaculate to be the 400. And I'm thinking, this man, I knew him. He was a schoolmate in elementary school, someone I can call a friend. How can somebody say you killed 399 people by machete? But he was proud. They went right in the wardrobe. They could have found us if that wardrobe was not there. And later he said, good idea. It wasn't even like I want to take credit, like, oh good, I had a good idea. It was just like, keep listening. Know how to distinguish that clarity that is not covered by hate, by envy, by jealousy, by anything unloving. That is really how it comes out. It comes as a truth that you know is not motivated by something not nice, yeah. And the funny part, when they left, the anger came right back. It was just like, again, like oil coming back on the top of the water. It was like a veil I pulled in front. I couldn't see, I couldn't think. Oh, my body is aching again, and my headache. But that's what you do when people are killing your people. You get angry. So I didn't even think there was another way to deal with this. Despite of the price I was paying with my own body, I couldn't remember how to smile because of anger. I felt like my mouth was twisted. I wished to be innocent again. I wished to see good in people. Because for me, they were animals. They were bad. They were just like evil people. Oh, Father. Every day, I prayed about 200 Our Lord's Prayer.
Come, thy will be done on earth.
Anytime I reached the part that said, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us, I couldn't say it.
Give us this day our daily bread.
Anytime I went through that part, it was like a red flag. And then I said, but how can I deal with it? Because I can't forgive, because this is unforgivable thing. They tried to kill me. How do you forgive such a thing? I wished I could, but it didn't make sense in my situation. So one time I said, wait a minute, I have a better idea. I thought, let me skip that part of the prayer, so then I don't have to say it, then I can say the rest. So then within me, God is okay, now he knows I'm not lying, because lies don't sit well in the body. And I started to skip it, and I felt so much better.
Forever and ever, amen.
So I edited it, and now these voices, you are editing his prayer. If I were you, I wouldn't try to edit his prayer. I can say this laughing today, but that time my world was crushed. I remember it was like giving up, or I can call it surrender. I went on my knees and I put my hands up and I begged God, I'm going to put back your prayer, because if you said pray this way, you must know it's the right thing to do. I'm putting it in your hands. If you know how to forgive, help me out. I'm willing. That was a big shift. I remember it came to a point when it was like the world was divided into a part of love and a part of hate. And a part of love are people like Mandela, like Mother Teresa, Gandhi, people who suffered. But no matter how much they suffer, they still stand up for truth. They still stand up for love, for defense of another human being's rights. And then on the side of hate, I see people like Hitler, like those who were causing genocide in Rwanda, who are vengeful, angry, like me at that time. And I felt like God was asking me, where do you want to stand? Where do you want to belong? Do you want to belong to the side of love or the side of hate? And guess what? People who belong to the side of love, they have known injustice. They have known hate. They have known how to be treated bad, but it's your choice. And I remember it was so clear that I said, of course I want to be with Gandhi, with Mandela. I admire these people. I admired Mother Teresa. I want to be like them. So what did they do? They believed people can change. That was a huge shift in my thinking, in my body. People do change. And I remember thinking, wait a minute, I don't think people can really change. But wait a minute again. Look at me, I'm changing with all these thoughts. So when I realized that people actually do change, people have the capacity to see things differently, that's when I realized I can let go. I felt like I've moved from the bathroom to a place of air. That's how love felt in my body. I couldn't smell nothing bad. It was like I was floating. And that was a paradise in my heart. I thought about the killers. I truly felt compassion towards them. Imagine the person who killed 100 people, who have took away fathers and mothers from their kids. What are they going to become when they wake up one day and they realize what they're doing? Someone who begged them for life. When we came out, it was like end of the world. 1 million people and more was killed. My mom, my father, my 2 brothers, my grandma, my grandpa, neighbors, my schoolmates, my best friends. It was like end of the world. Everywhere was dead bodies. But something have changed my heart. I was strong inside. I was really ready to face life in a different way. I'm a skeleton, I'm 65 pounds, but inside I felt like huge. I felt more beautiful. I felt like everybody was just like a gift of God. And I just wanted to serve, to help, and to care. For the first time, I'm being grateful for things I took for granted forever. And I can say hi to somebody without anyone kidding me. And then I remember an evening, this wind, a nice wind, the trees are moving. I can feel the wind on my body. I didn't feel this for 3 months. I can see the stars, I can see the moon, and I don't have to pay for this. Did I ever look at the moon and said, wow, nice to have the moon? No, it was an overwhelming feeling of love and appreciation. I want to scream to the whole world. Do you see the beauty?
The mind can understand conceptually wholeness, but only the heart can experience wholeness. And the reward, if we can endure what we experience, is that we don't just grasp oneness, we feel it.
Your head sees things that's black or white, wrong or right, bad or good. Head is always judging, always off balance.
How long do I have to wait for it to be white again?
Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it isn't there. The heart is much faster and wiser than the head. In the eyes of the heart, black and white judgments disappear, because the heart is balanced by a deeper truth. The Great Spirit spins together moments of profound beauty that can only be experienced with the heart.
I am forever grateful for that bathroom. To see where evil can take people, but to see also where love can take people. Just to realize the weakness of people but the strength that is within each one of us. To push me that far, to dig within my heart, and to trust that instinct within.
And when you can give thanks for it all, and love without conditions, then you will be free. That is the power of the heart.
Life is full of challenges. Challenges and hardships oftentimes are the intense heat and fire that break us open to discover gifts, talents, and capacities within us that we would have never discovered before.
So like a match that holds fire, but until it strikes against something, you have no flame. By rubbing up against experience, our heart comes aflame, and light and warmth come from us.
You can even be grateful for things that you imagine that aren't any good for you, that you imagine that you don't really want, or that you wish you hadn't had to experience. Even in those moments, masters say, thank you to life, thank you to God, thank you to the divine self for this particular experience, because I know that before too long, I will see the extraordinary gift that has been folded into this physical encounter.
6 months after the genocide, and people used to tell me, you can't forgive this quick. It's too quick to be happy. You can't be smiling after what happened. And that really kind of made me question a little bit sometimes. I said, am I happy and forgiving out of surviving mechanism? Am I going to crash one day, which many people told me, oh, one day, if you see them, you will go back to the anger. I said, really? Let me see. So I went to the prison to see the person who have killed my mom and my brother, whom I would not have gone to meet him. It didn't serve me one bit. So I went there just to really see how I feel. And I have learned the head of the jail is a friend of my father who lost his wife and like 5 children. So I knew he would open the door for me.
You can eat him. You can do whatever you want. Because I'm here now. I will protect you. So ease up your pain.
And he brought the man. I remember him, he used to be a teacher. He was like a father to me. He had kids my age. I used to visit them and have lunch with the family. Now that's him who did that. I just broke down and cried. And I truly cried out of compassion towards him and his family. I forgive you. It wasn't like, oh, I planned to say these words. There's something I wanted to express and I couldn't find words to say it fully. I wanted him to be free from me. Not to think, oh, she's mad at me. You know, I can't do nothing. I just wanted him to have a chance to go through his own journey from his own heart. Not because somebody's angry at him or somebody put him in a prison.
What is wrong with you?
And the head of the jail was so mad.
What is wrong with you? Huh? You do not know what he did to us? You do not love your parents, huh? You forget?
I forgot that the man was there and actually lost his family too. And I really felt bad.
You forgive a killer? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
Why did I forgive him? But I did. I wanted to. I wanted to free him. But it felt more like weakness. It felt like. But in some way, I knew it was the right thing.
It's the most horrifying tale. And yet she and many people living through that genocide have found it in their hearts to forgive and to move on.
Forgiveness is everything. When I think of forgiveness, I'm brought to weep with gratitude that it exists.
Now, forgiveness doesn't mean that you're condoning someone else's behavior. This is a really important point. Forgiveness merely means that you're freeing yourself up from the energy blocks that you're holding, those resentments that you're carrying.
There's a song in the gospel song, and it says, take your burden to the Lord and leave them there. Leave them there, oh, leave them there. Take your burden to the Lord and leave them there. If you trust and never doubt, He will surely bring you out. Take your burden to the Lord and leave them. Now there is that. And there are people who sing that with such fervor and such confidence. And those are the same people who take their burden, say, "They are my burdens," and then they get up and take the burden with them and they go.
How can we connect with the heart? Well, the starting point is all you ever have, this moment.
We are so busy all the time. There's no time, no space, no silence for the heart.
Unless you actually can be out in nature and experience the birds singing and the trees and the blue sky, you are divorced from the great spiritual being that I feel is all around us. And I've been so lucky to spend months and months on my own in nature. Then you can become a whole human being with heart and brain and spirit all connected and whole.
That's why maybe people meditate or pray, because they need that space, that moment when you listen to the heart.
Every storm has a hole in the center the size of a navel through which a gull can fly in silence.
And so you become calm. You must become calm. If you don't know what to do, do nothing. Don't fill your time with trivia. Simply do nothing. Simply sit.
Breathe. All the traditions speak about the value of meditation, reflection, contemplation, which all center on breathing. Why? Because breath restores us to the safety of the moment.
Now you want to breathe a little deeper and a little slower than you normally would. About a 4 or 5 second on the in-breath and 4 or 5 seconds on the out-breath. But you don't hold your breath, you just get a nice rhythm at that pace, holding your attention in the area of the heart.
Bring your awareness to your heart. Bring your conscious awareness into your heart.
And you may be able to hear.
I ask my heart all the time for guidance.
Your heart has a very good way to tell you whether you are in a good path or not. It's called enthusiasm.
I let in whatever's around me, and I ask, where's the aliveness now?
When I'm playing with the kids, when I make love to my husband, when I read a good book, when I'm writing and I feel that the character becomes a person and talks to me, then my heart also feels fluttering and with laughter, with joy. Why everything has to be so serious?
It's very important to have fun. Even in the middle of something that you are doing that requires a lot of discipline. And so to connect to your heart, become a child.
My dear friend George came to Greece. This guy is a billionaire, and he's very big, you know. Started talking, and then I said,
listen, if you want to talk with me,
Come with me. I took him out in the central of Athens where we have a trampoline. We're not going to talk business unless you follow me on the trampoline, man.
No.
Yes, together.
I'm not going on a trampoline.
Shoes off. You're the difficult guy to get undressed, man. He came up on the trampoline for the first time in his life and we started jumping together. Up and down, up and down. 140 kilos, no? Hey, you can become a champion, eh? If you train a little bit, next Olympic Games, okay? I will be your manager, man. Wow, what a good boy you are, man. That's the way I like it. Aha. He was so happy. It's like a little child. It is hidden. The child is hidden. Everybody's a child, even him, who is a billionaire.
And the child is saying, hello, I'm here. But we think, oh, we are grown up, so we're not going to listen to this child. Because this child has childish dreams. And so we forget the child. And from the moment that we forget the child, we think the child is going to forget us. No, the child is not going to forget us. This child will be there always. Hello, I'm here. I'm talking to you. Can you listen? And then you say, shut up. I don't want to listen to you. But the day that you are facing death, this child will be there and I'm going to ask you again, why didn't you listen to me? And then you have to answer. And your answer will be your hell or your heaven.
The difference between being childish and childlike is that being childish reduces our world and returns us to being self-centered. Being childlike returns us to wonder.
It's wonderful to be like a child if you still can practice this. When I'm in new places or new cities or new areas, I'm Alice in Wonderland. Then the heart goes open again.
And then I feel my heart exploding. You know, I feel the heat of the heart.
And it is wonderfully liberating and empowering to be aligned with the heart, that which underlies all creation. And it is then that often you find helpful factors coming into your life out of nowhere, and those are synchronistic events that usually are confirmation that you are connected to that deeper level.
Synchronicity is this word that was created by Carl Jung. When something appears to be a coincidence, but you know that there's more to it than that.
For example, you get a phone call just at the right moment, something that becomes a helpful factor, and you cannot explain causally how that happened.
Synchronicity is a miracle. The only thing that you can do is to be open to synchronicity.
It is as if a filter drops away and we notice that synchronicity is all around us, that this isn't an accidental universe.
When we were waiting to hear from the doctors, I had one of Christina's jackets, and I reached into the pockets and I pulled out a fortune from a fortune cookie. We must always have old memories and young hopes. And that was a sign for us, you know, that she was gone.
And immediately I just thought this was like
Her final message to
her
us.
final message to us. I mean, the old memories were the old memories with her, with Christina, and the young hopes, or the optimism. You know, she was 21 years old. She looked ahead to her whole life. To me, it was telling us that we have to pick up where she left off. Even though I'm not 21 anymore, I have to adopt that philosophy and try to live up to that the young hopes that for the future that you can have and that you can make a difference in the world.
Synchronicity is largely due to intuition, where we end up in the right place at the right time because of that inner guidance. In other experiments we've done, we see that the heart can know the information about 20 seconds beforehand. But in real life, our intuition's not limited by these experimental protocols. And I think we have to be careful not to say that, well, intuition's only 20 seconds before an event, because we know in the real world, it can be hours or sometimes even days before an event actually occurs. Most people instantly think about going to Las Vegas and gambling or something. If intuition really works as I'm suggesting, it's really our own spirit working with us. So it's not always in our best behalf from that interaction between our higher self or our soul, whatever you want to call it. Every culture has their own name for it, that we go to Las Vegas and just win all the time. So intuition's really our own best friend. It's really the moment-to-moment inner guidance. You know, when we get that feeling that something's just not right, or we shouldn't do something, or it can be a positive feeling that we really should do something or go to a certain place.
I remember the day before the genocide happened. My brother came home. He spent a day with his friends, and he told us that he heard a rumor that they are going to kill every Tutsi that night. And we were, our family, on the list.
I cannot move the family just because you heard a rumor.
What if it's true and in the morning?
Stop it. No fear. Just trust in God and forget about it.
What do you think?
We should move. This is so important. It's 10 minutes away. We can just take the boat and come back in the morning if nothing.
I know, but we must trust our father too.
I know, you're right. We should, right? Because he always has good judgment.
We should.
It was so clear in my heart. The right decision was to move away from the country. By the morning, it was too late. They have blocked all the borders. That lesson completely changed my heart forever. Now, when I have that feeling, I do listen to my heart. No matter who is saying what, I have to listen to my heart.
Well, if you don't trust the heart, what are you going to trust?
I believe the heart is the only thing we can trust.
When we get to the point where we have experienced this transformation within ourselves, where living from love rather than fear has transformed our own life circumstances, then we become channels, we become vessels, we have the moral authority by which to state that possibility for the planet.
Just before she passed, I was telling her that I'd been, off work for a couple of years. I'd been retired, and I was kind of looking for something meaningful to do with the rest of my life because I was still young. And she said, "Oh, something will come along. You'll know it when it comes along." And when she passed, I knew instantly that we had to continue her work, and so we started the foundation, the Christina Chesterman Memorial Foundation, to just build on the legacy that she left already.
As you live from the heart and more humans begin to live from the heart, that has a ripple effect. It ripples out from where you are, and then you get it back.
Every day you work at it. Every day you go to the heart. Every day you speak to me.
In fact, I start each morning with what we call a heart lock-in, which is getting coherent and really sending myself love and appreciation for a few minutes to start my day from a more coherent, composed, and connected perspective. Then throughout the day, you've got to kind of reboot that, right? So it's really developing kind of a flow through life, right? It's all the in-between moments, as I call them, like in between here in the lunchroom or between here and the photocopier. Those in-between moments are perfect opportunities to breathe in that appreciation or that state of inner ease. We have to breathe anyway, so we might as well make it more effective.
And if we can calm down enough, we can listen to the wisdom. We learn how to be good neighbors, good visitors, how to be good parents, how to be good workers, good teachers. We learn how to be good citizens, good human beings, because we listen. And not try to put our voices in it, just listen.
The heart is my guru. From all gurus I've met, this one is the real one.
Ask your heart any question. Who am I? What do I want? What's my purpose in life? What are the qualities that I look for in a good friend? What are the qualities that I contribute to in a good relationship? What are my unique skills and talents? How do I use those to serve humanity? Your heart knows all the answers.
I still feel lost. I don't know what to do with my life anymore.
Take the question to your heart.
I have been. I'm not getting any answers.
You're thinking it's harder than it really is. Just follow that lightness in your heart, and that will eventually lead you to a life of purpose. Some of the biggest questions of the heart unfold as a path, not an answer.
Following our aliveness without attaching what it will become. Not to become a poet, but I'm brought alive by the questions and the life of expression. Not to become a singer, but to be brought alive by voice coming out of you.
We begin to connect from our center and not just from surface personality. It's a whole different way of moving through the world. And when one moves through the world like this, and when we begin to move through the world like this, then the realm of ever-expanding good, another name for heaven, begins to be revealed on our planet.
We cannot see tomorrow's sky, but the heart sees it. And we will be directed as how we should act in tomorrow's sky. More than likely, we already know. But if we don't, the heart will tell us if we listen.
This is for you, sweetheart.